I'm Arilax, and here you can see my steel build deck tag. I have no idea what's in here, and I'm hoping it's good. So, start off. 7's an acceptable number on lands. That's an important thing. Generic artifacts. Oh boy, that's not the common I want 3 of. I'm assuming I should probably also verify this. No tri-lands is kind of weird too. Or not weird, I guess, because it's like the average is only like 1.5 or something, but I guess it's more unfortunate. Not a huge fan of this one. Okay, white cards are like not exceptional, but fine. Blue is pretty miserable in this format, and my blue cards are not looking too exciting. Oh, lucky, there's no rares in blue.
Ivan Abinadano, Benjamin Foley to the Grand Prix.
I don't think this card is playable in sealed. I don't think you can afford to play crappy 2/1s.
Benjamin Foley to the Grand Prix.
This card not very good. That's not the rare I wanted. Black's not exceptional, but again, your monocolor cards are never usually off the chart. 2 Arc Lightning, cool. I don't actually like this color, but if these are the cards I get. Woo! One of my favorite rares. That card's awesome. Well, this isn't. I'll take this. It's not one of my favorite rares, but I'll take it. The rare I was talking about is this one. And that card, if I have enough morphs, is absolutely unbeatable. Whew! Also unbeatable. I'm liking where this pool's going. Okay. So, first things first, the mana. I've got 2 white, 4 black, 5 black, 2 red, 3 green, 2 blue. So like a really nice, solid split that will let me do whatever I want. Cool. This card's not actually good. What am I looking at it for? This card's like passable. I didn't even notice this was foil. I have 6 rares. This card's absolutely nuts. I don't have the cards for these, so I don't think any of these are making the cut. This card actually might. I have a lot of respect for 2 8s. I'm pretty sure I'm playing green, and by pretty sure I mean absolutely sure. Morph count is 1. Double Outlaster, 2 morphs. God, this guy's so good. Outlast is like not only the best mechanic in the format, but like this guy is absurd because one of the ways to beat people is with flyers. I don't think this card's making the cut. We're not aggressive. I've got 2 drops, so I don't need crappy Just Guy Student. This card's good. This card's good. That card's sweet. We've got both the white removal spells. That's great. I probably want this card. I've heard good things. Waking the Bear's okay. I don't want crappy morph. These are like generic morphs. Red, I don't think there's enough things to be war streaking with. Probably not splashing that card. Not a fan of this because it doesn't kill up the curve, though it does kill Outlast guys, and I should remember to board it in if that's the case. I think this guy's a lot better than he looks, but I don't think this deck has enough room for it with all my actually good morphs. By actually good, I mean more than 5 toughness. This card's not good, not good. Yeah, we'll stay away from red. I don't have enough things to cast with this because I'm not like the super aggro white-black guy. Even though I am playing this pony wherever he is. I only have 1 delve thing I want to cast, so I'm not actually playing this card. Not a big fan of it. Sweet. Awesome. 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 Might just splash it anyways. Awesome. 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 Can I get away without blue? It's kind of a free roll. I don't really know how much of a free roll it is. Like, if I cut blue, I lose these 3 cards. Actually, isn't. It's actually a complete free roll because of the trail. So we're like green-white massive splashes. This card's sweet. I guess I have a second delve card. This card is starting to look like slightly more appealing. And these are bad morphs, so I'm not hugely excited. I don't need to play any of these cards. This is passable. This is passable. This is good. This probably isn't good enough. None of these are good. Not good. Not good. Arc Lightning, sweet.
Grade 3 players, your pairings are headed to your pairing board. Please make sure that you judge and reach the board. Once again,
Yeah, this is like a weird one to cut, but I don't think my deck is actually aggressive enough to do anything with it. Not playing these, not playing... could play that card, actually. I have like some things that I can just loop with it repeatedly. Maybe I should short blue here. Definitely base green-white, which also helps because I only have one fixer on that axis. And black is basically a splash. So where am I going from here? I'm not actually sure this card's necessarily great either. But it's definitely a free roll. Removal, not cutting, not cutting, not cutting. This card's just too good to cut. Question is which morphs I play. I have 1, 2. I have enough morphs that I'm pretty sure I'm just going to cast that card. Let me count this. So I get to add 5 cards to these? Oh, maybe I'm not casting that card. Do I have things I actually want to protect? That's a question. This card is flying. It should probably just be in my deck on principle.
feature matches for round number 2. From table 799, Evan Irwin and Forrest Shepard and Chase. From table 528, Frank Lepore and CJ Scrub at Soren. From table 476, Mark Mystico and Pierre Rosso at Nissa. From table 527, Michael Lech and Mark Savant at Chandra. From table 595, Neil Reeves, Cody Fuzzle at A, Video A. And from table 5,
I guess the thing I have to think about here is my mana.
Sol Volka and Christian Inez at Video B. Once again, table 799 to Chase.
Red.
Table 528
Red,
to
definitely
Soren.
more splashing.
Table 476 to Nissa. Table 5.
Literally just be blue for like this guy. I don't think I want to play these double splash cards.
And table 513 to Video B.
Force Away could make it. I'm a pretty big fan of Treasure Cruise. This card's fine. I don't think this is the card I want. This card's potential. I've heard great things about this and should probably just play it because I think it kills people on the spot. This card's good. The card is just so good to cast on turn 2. Six morphs though. I don't think you're making the cut today. It's unfortunate. Really like it. This guy's absurdly good because it flies. You're a 4/4, you're not involved. Probably could consider a deck that has that card. These are on the splash, don't want. Not sold on this card. It's probably good, but it's weird that I'm not playing it too. 1, 2, Potentially 3 delve cards. Flies he probably shouldn't be considered. I don't really want to get into this kind of nonsense. He's just a generic bad creature that doesn't really deserve a slot.
Start round 2. Next round will start in 1 minute.
Yeah, I don't think that if I had a Secret Plans too, I might be able to beat the Morph deck, but I don't think that's where it's at. I definitely want 18 lands. I think every other card in my deck has to be a creature. I could get away with one more spell probably. Definitely playing ponies. I don't know why I'd consider not playing that card. That guy is just off the charts. I guess I have a few things that I do want to protect, but too many of my things are just so interchangeable. Like the only things I really care about protecting are like this guy and this guy. Like this guy dies whatever. This guy's just a big idiot. We're not gonna play any of these cards.
Welcome to the event. Quick reminder, starting this penalty will be assigned at 0 and 10.
So we have to play 2 of these.
Please make efforts to get into your seats. Additionally, your slips will have one of 2.
I really don't want to draw this card in the late game.
Either Jeskai or Teamer.
I don't think I can play both of these.
Drop them off. Please make sure it goes into
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 white cards to reveal, so this guy's like kind of a free roll.
When dropping off your slip, if you come to stage,
So it's like one of these. I don't think I want both of these. I think this guy's really good, but I think I'd rather just play the on-color guy. Because I think that I'd rather not count on having the mana for him.
all of you to round 2 of 9. You have 50 minutes. You may begin.
Yeah, let's just play the flyer. This looks good. 22 here. Now for the fun part. Let's do some mana math. I'm gonna need paper for this one. Okay, so this is the fun part of this format. White, 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 effectively white. Let's just count. I've got 3 red. So I may or may not want another red source if I could.
Check in the first 5 minutes that the
Green,
even matches
black.
what has been registered.
This card's like almost a double splash too, so I'm not super excited about it, but it has a morph. How many morphs did I actually get in my deck? 1, 2, 3, 4, just 5? I don't think that's enough for trailing. Even though trail is real good, because it turns all your eyes into Civic Wayfinders.
Once again,
These are all in my deck, so I have 11 lands to work with.
your list is
Looking at my white, I probably need at least 5 of that. Looking at my green, I have 2, 3 of it, so I probably need at least 4 to make that work. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Black, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. I might not actually need another black source. That's a potential. Blue, I have 2 for 2 cards. Treasure Cruise is like a real late game card, so that's fine to not have a blue for it. And this is a morph, so that's also fine to not have a blue for it. So I'm not going to play any other blue cards, or blue mana. The question is, do I want a red or a black here? I have 2 red. I think I want the 3rd red to support this, but it's up in the air. And then the question is whether I also want another plains or another forest. Do one last check in the pool. I could see playing one of these banners maybe just to make the mana work. But I'm not super excited about it. I think all the cards that I have are excellent, so I don't really think I want to cut one for it.
Sean O'Connor and Anthony Thiessen, please report to side events.
We don't want any of these blue cards in here. Yeah, I don't want any of these additional red or blue cards. Sorry, Arc Lightning. Two of these. I don't really like this card. I think he's kind of like an awkward size for the format, even if his ability is ridiculously good. The Flare. I think Awaken the Bear could be good, though. I'm debating if I can, like, cut the blue cards real fast. I don't think... No, the blue cards are free. I don't actually care, so that's fine. I really wish I could play Trail, though. Don't think so. Become Immense is actually the card that I'm considering if it should be in my deck. But I don't think I want another basic planes. These are late cards. These are nice if I have them early. Evan White. $13 green. Yeah, if anything, it's another forest. Also, just like having too many of a basic land in your deck leads you to drawing like hands that are like 3 lands, but they don't actually make the right colors. The really big debate here is which of these. If I have 2 red for this, I don't think that's enough. I think I do need a mountain in this deck. So the question is this: is whether I need the 6th black source or the 8th green source. I'm leading the 8th green source because I have all the Archer's Parafats, and every one of my black cards is an excellent late game card. Even though I have
CJ Screws, please report.
8 black cards. It's a little sketchy. This Mardu banner may have to come into play just to get the mana counts to work. I'll lay this out by cost again, just real fast to see if I can cut anything. This might be the worst card in my deck, but that card's just good. It's flying. Everything kind of clogs up on the ground in this format, I think, and that guy attacks in the air. I guess the Scavenger also flies. I'm almost at the point where I want to register 41. I'm not again, like, I'm not above it. It's not outside my range, but I think that Doom Blast is probably too good for me to reduce my chances of drawing it. None of these cards are good. I've heard so many good things about that card, but I don't want to play that card. Splash. Sure, in my deck. Nothing here. If I wanted any of these cards, it would be the Temur banner, because the 2 colors I'm debating on are the... Like, I could add this, cut this. I want 18 actual lands, though, because I need to... that deck's not so big on the 5 flips, so I don't know if I... Yeah, I think I just want 18 actual lands, and I don't want a banner. Who am I kidding?
Players in modern winner box number 2, your event is ready.
This is the big decision, obviously, so... It's also possible that the right play is to cut this red card, leave myself with less red cards, and just be okay with the splash. actually liking this a lot better because then I get to cut this. I'm probably going to want the War Behemoth just as a generic big dude on the ground and another morph so I can trade early and get to my late game power. I have 2 cards, 3. This deck is awesome. Man, everything I ever wanted. I have enough flying blockers that I don't really care about that, so there we go. This is my 22, I think. Not even remotely considerable, even with 4, I think. And the arm, I think it's still not considerable. I'm just looking to see if the card that I actually wish I could play the most. Now, looking at my deck again, this is a mistake.
Please report to the on-demand station. Draft 8.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 morphs. Still not enough for the trail. The deck, I had like a draft deck with 2 trails and 11 morphs, and it was amazing, but that might be the outlier. Okay, 22. That leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black, 7 white, and 8 green. Let me just double count my white cards. 1, 2. All of the morphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's black sources. 2. This will do.
Hey guys, Andrew Shrout. I'm here with Ari Lax.
Hey.
We just watched you build your Sealed deck,
Yeah.
and it's a nice one.
Oh yeah, it is real nice.
It's a very nice one.
I count how many rares I get to play.
You had a really interesting take to kind of how you approached this pool that I hadn't seen other players do before. The first thing you did, you laid out your dual lands. You have 7 game lands, and it didn't seem like at any point did you like consider not playing all 7 of them. And I don't think I ever really saw you like discussing or thinking about which colors you weren't playing.
There was like half a second at the end where I'm like, maybe I should cut these blue cards. I looked at my lands. I'm like, I'm just not going to play an island. I'm going to play those anyways. That's lucky. So basically, I see the format as having 4 possible sealed decks you can open. Mm-hmm. The first is this one, where you open this assortment of like 6 to 10. Like you have to have the right 6 duels if you have 6, but it's like 6 to 10 duels. If you have like 6 or 7, they also have to be like a nice spread like this is. Yep. It's not like I have like, you know, like 3 white green duels, 2 blue red duels, and like a green blue that forces me to only have Temur. My dual lands just kind of go wherever I want them to.
You actually, there's not a color you don't have at least 2 dual lands for.
Right. So like my sources are like real easy to spread, and I don't really have a concern about finding the mana to cast my spells.
Okay.
It also helps like if, you know, like these are my splashes and they have morph, so I don't really care about flipping them necessarily early. Okay. So there's that deck. There's the, oh crap, I opened, you know, like 4 duels or something, because like the average number of common duels in a pool, it's like 1 out of 12 commons, so you see, you know, 5-ish, and maybe you'll get like a little below the curve, and you don't open a fetch land, and you don't open a tri land, you've got like 4 duels, you can't actually go 5 color.
Sure.
But you've opened, you know, like a bunch of blue-red flyers, and flyers are great because there's a lot of walls like this, and this, and this, and attacking is horrible in this format a lot of the time. So you can be the blue-white Jeskai Burn deck.
All right.
And that deck's fine. There's Magical Mystery Land, where you open like multiple Battle Rush or Rush of Battles, or like multiple Dragon Scale Boons and Awaken the Bears and a bunch of green 2-drops. There's these Magical Mystery draft style aggro decks that I'm sure someone in this giant room has.
Yeah, okay. So basically just a nutso draft deck that just happens to come together.
And then there's your average sealed pool, where you have like 6 lands, there's some overlap, and you just look at your cards and you're like, what am I doing? This is awful.
The traditional mid-range sealed pool.
You have to build a traditional mid-range sealed pool with bad mana instead of a traditional 22 best card sealed pool with perfect mana, like I have. This deck turned out perfectly.
You are playing 22 good cards.
22 good cards, 18 lands.
Sure. And when you put it that way, you basically just picked the 22 best spells out of your pool.
Pretty much. That sounds pretty close to correct.
More or less. Another card that you mentioned specifically as you were looking over the pool that there was a rare you were really excited about. You talked about it for a while at length, and then you eventually decided you couldn't play it. Sell me a little on Trail of Mystery.
So Trail of Mystery, one of the key things about this format is mana. There's a lot of really mana intensive.
Sure.
Well, like, first of all, it's a 5-color format.
Right.
So like if you have a fixer, that's great. If you have incremental mana, that's great because Morph costs additional mana, Outlast costs additional mana. Those are the 2 best abilities in the format.
Yeah.
So having a bunch of mana is awesome. So like the best way to do that is just have every creature you play be a Civic Wayfinder. And Trail of Mystery, that's what it does. The other ability, like this pump ability, it's come into play like once for me ever playing the card. But the first ability is really where it's at. But like as I started going through my cards, I started like thinking like I'm gonna have to play a bunch of like mediocre cards to like play this trail. And like I think I wanted like 2 more morphs in order to play it. Like I have 6, and I think I wanted like 8-ish. And I kind of was like getting this scenario where like I'm just gonna draw Trail of Mystery on like turn 7 and just be like, oh, this sucks. So like if I had like a secret plans or something else to go with it and like actually make the incentive to be the heavier morph deck, I would have gone down that road. But as is, I cut it. That could easily be wrong.
Okay.
The other thing too is that if you look at my lands, I ended up in a scenario where I don't have to play a basic mountain or basic island.
Right.
And that's another thing I'd have to do if I play Trail.
Sure. Okay. So especially if you had you got like Abomination of Gudul, so you would like definitely
I've
want
got,
to be able to get an island when you play.
These are my blue
Morph
cards, and these are my red cards. So it's like, I would want to find it if I could.
Okay, so
that didn't make the cut.
All right. You have to stretch your mana base a little more. Okay. You mentioned you're playing basically your 22 best cards.
Yep.
So I want to talk a little bit about the cards that you decided didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
We're saying you're 22 best. I think that's maybe a little fuzzy because you have to make. There are other concerns with your creature count and curve and all that. A couple of cards that stand out to me as objectively very good cards that we didn't end up playing. You dismissed Mardu Horde Chief very quickly.
Immediately. Even if I was like, so this format, like if you look at all the toughness on these sealed deck creatures, like in draft you can actually build an aggressive deck because you can get enough 2-drops. But like if you look at the sealed deck, this is going to be an average curve, and this is just going to be a 2/3, and every single creature is big enough to block a 2/3 and a 1/1.
Sure.
So this guy actually doesn't do a lot in this format.
Right.
Outside of the Magical Mystery aggro deck.
A good draft card, not really a good sealed card.
I don't think so.
Okay. Become Immense was another one, and this was one that you mentioned you had heard good things about.
I've heard insane things about it, but the end result was that I figured I could only support 2 Delve cards, and I figured the flying threat in this deck was more important than the pump spell.
Okay.
Because my plan is definitely like very tradey and attrition-y.
Sure.
And I want to have like, if the board stalls out, I want a flyer, I don't want a pump spell in this deck.
Okay.
I also like didn't want to play a spell that wasn't a removal spell. I had other removal spells or stuff sitting on the sideline that I thought would be better fits for the deck than the Become Immense.
You have 2 Arc Lightnings and a Bring Low.
Yeah.
I think those were kind of red the splash color. You didn't want to play a mountain. So.
Well, that, and I also, I think my deck's going to go late a lot, and drawing these cards in the late game is like, if you play Arc Lightning on turn 3 and you kill their morph and deal 1 to them, or the Magical Dream scenario of like they got like Rattle Claw and you kill that in the morph and you're like, I win the game. But like I draw it on like turn 7, my opponent's got like a 6/7 and a 5/5 to play. I'm like, that's a great card. Same with Bring Low. Like, Bring Low can take down these Outlast guys, and I might board it in those matchups, but beyond that, I'm not super excited about it.
The last card I wanted to ask about, I think you kind of already answered. Feat of Resistance is, I feel like if you're playing white, you almost always want this card.
I think it's a similar spot to the Become Immense in this deck. The other thing to consider is that I think all of my creatures are completely interchangeable. It's not like I have any specific... I've actually been struggling to think of what the giant rare bomb I'd want. Like, it'd have to be like a Sidisi or like one of those style cards, but like to protect with the feet. But all my guys are just like, protect a Hooded Hydra. Whoop-de-doo, it dies and I get a million guys anyways. Protect the 6/7, the next guy will step in line and I'll beat them down with it.
Okay, fair enough.
I do have a lot of Outlast guys that I can spread abilities with, but I just kind of felt like I didn't really want to go down the road of playing tricks in my deck. I just wanted removal and card draws my spells and just every creature I could play.
Okay.
I think maybe there's like a Highspire Mantis on my board that I kind of moved away from at the last second as a red splash. And if I had that card and the Scavenger, I might have like enough flyers to protect with this.
Okay.
The 2 cards I do want to bring up that I don't think you touched on. I have my 7th, the nice foil rare of Retribution of the Ancients.
Okay.
I dismissed it in deck build, and then I realized after the fact that Hooded Hydra's counters.
Okay.
So we've got like 1, 2,
potential for some serious
3, 4,
abuse there.
5, 6, 7, like 8 ways to make counters. It's probably just me being too cute.
It doesn't do anything on its own,
right?
Which is a tough spot to be in sealed.
Right. And this is actually the card I think I'm most excited to have in my sideboard the more I think about it, because I think in like grindy mid-range mirrors, there's going to be a lot of times where it comes down to like a lot of cards being depleted from my deck.
Sure.
And being able to cantrip, reshuffle in all my removal, have enough removal spells to kill all their stuff is going to be huge. I don't think it's actually going to come down to decking. I think it will just come down to like running out of things.
Just having raw card
more,
quality.
Yeah, more things in my deck. And I also
Okay.
have a couple of delve cards to sort of like, oh, I bitter revved, 2 lands into my graveyard, or like Gadul, a couple into my graveyard. I get to exile those and sculpt my graveyard, or like I trade away something that, like I don't really want to draw an Archer's Pair if I don't like turn a million.
Sure.
I can sculpt my graveyard to cranial archive back the cards I want.
Just remove the bad cards.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
Shuffle in
Exactly.
mono action.
Yep.
Okay. That
Yeah,
seems
but
reasonable.
this deck is awesome.
This deck looks sweet. Dare you give a prediction here then?
This deck is. I had like my range on this deck being like 7.5 to 8.5 wins.
Okay.
It's like a pretty big range because I don't know like how wide the power level range in the sealed format is.
Sure.
But I think it's really good, and I mean with 3 buys I should have no problems day 2ing with this.
Yeah.
I get to play 4 rares, 7 dual lands, and like 5 or 6 removal spells.
Yeah.
And this guy is utterly
I
unbeatable.
definitely feel good about your chances.
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for you. Thanks for sitting down with me, all right?
No problem.
Stick around. We've got plenty more coverage coming of Grand Prix Orlando.